Welcome back. So if you've watched the previous video, you've basically seen how to do lot for lot MPS in by hand. So if you haven't watched, just pause this video, go to the previous video, see the first principles, and then let's do it in Odoo. And now people, it's time to go into Odoo, and I'll use the most recent, that's Odoo 19. So this is basically a test database. So I want to create my product. I'll go to inventory. I haven't tried it yet in this database, so I'm just going to do it from scratch. So I'll go to products. I'll create my bicycle. Let's call it bicycle. Let's call it bike X. It's a good, we can track its inventory. Quantity on hand, let's start with 350. Remember? So this is basically the same idea we are using. So let's start with 350. So if I go to Odoo, that's the location I have them. Okay, so let's start with 350. Ping, that's a bicycle. I need to set up a few other things. I'll go to purchase. I'm going to select a vendor. So who is my vendor? It's called bicycle vendor. So select bicycle vendor. Select the unit. That's 1 unit. Sells a bicycle at, let me guess, 130 USD. And then let's go to the lead time. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks is 14 days. Whoop. And then another thing I need to do is inventory. Okay, that's good. There we go. And now let's go to manufacturing. Remember in our definition how we read it. So for those who've been here from the first video, we saw that in Odoo's manufacturing app, the MPS is used to manually plan manufacturing orders. So if I want to set up my MPS, where do I go? Look for my manufacturing app. Then I go to my configuration. Where is the most excellent MPS? Here is our MPS. So plan manufacturing or purchase orders based on forecasts. This is what we read, and I can go to the info bubble that using an MPS report schedule, yada 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 yada. So remember, this is a main structure of an MPS. You have periods, and then you have these rows here. So here you have your time range, number of periods. I can select weekly, and I can select 12, and I can save. Okay, so where do I access my master production schedule? Just wait for it. Go to not operations, planning, master production schedule, and there we have it. There we have our master production schedule. And so I can add a product. The product we made, that product is called Bike X. Okay. You can look at indirect demand. You can look at all these things, bill of materials. You can look at safety stock, minimum to replenish, and you can look at replenishment trigger. It can be manual, can be automatic, can be never. I can just save it. And where is my item? Here is my Bike X. So I'll just go and filter Bike X. That's the only thing I want to see. Can I add other fields? Absolutely, I can. But now let's look at weeks. So here I have from week 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So just for consistency, let's start from 41. So forecasted demand in week, I'll just need to do this very fast. I'll need to fill in the demand. So this is basically what I'm filling. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So I'm just going to fill in these values. I'm just going to copy and paste them. Yep, you can forward, you can fast forward here. 110, 145, 228, 450. 150. Now notice in week 2 we had 150 added. So if I go to week 2, if I add 150, okay, that's good. 450. And if I go to, where am I? I'm going to 450, jump, and then 154. Then let's go to the other one. It's jump 227, jump 300. 227, jump 300. Okay, what do we have here? What do we have here? So we had 110, we had a demand, so we started with 350. That's the starting inventory. We had a demand of 110, we had a net requirement of 0. That's basically what we have. 110, 350, had a requirement of 0. What did we carry forward? We carried 240. So we carried forward 240, we supplied 145. Remember, we also received 150, so we carried forward 245. I hope you can follow. Now in 245, so basically we have the same thing. We had the 145, received 150, total became 390, and then it goes. We are going to look at this last line later. So 228, but I only have 245, so I'm having 17. That's the stock that's left. Then I carry forward the 17, but I have a demand for 450, so I'll need 433. So here you can see replenishment, and I can see a very wonderful button, order. Yep, and then 17, 433, make a requirement for this day, and then 0, stock is 0, carry forward 0, sell 154, 0, and you can see there's a requirement for 154 in week 6, 0, and then here we have a requirement of 227, week 8, carry forward 0, carry forward 0, and you have a requirement, you have a demand for 300, you have a requirement for 300, and this is our MPS. If you can just pause this video here and compare with the results we had in our previous table, you'll see that it's just the same thing. Now it's time for us to compare. We want to see if we can create purchase orders with these exact dates. So essentially, when we create a purchase order for week 42, that purchase order must be made in week 40 so that it arrives in week 42. For week 44, we'll make a purchase order, and then the purchase order will be made in week 42 to arrive in week 44, and so on and so forth. So I can just click on order, and I have made that first order, and now this one is done. And now for 33, that's done. 154, that order is also done, or is already created. We'll just see the dates, and that's done, and that's done. Okay, now let's go to our purchase orders. We want to see what dates are there. So I'll just look for purchases, not purchases. Okay, you can see I have a few orders created from 42 to 46. So if I go inside, I'll see that how many bicycles were ordered. This was our first order, 150. What's the order deadline? September 29th, 2 weeks before. An expected arrival, October 13th. Easy, does it. Let's go to the next one. Let me go to number 4. This was a second order for 433 bikes. When is it expected? October 27. When is the order deadline? October 13. Okay, let's go to the third. Bike X 154, and by the way, I'm not making this up. You can see that we had an order for 150, 433, 154. The next orders are 227 and 300, and you can see the respective dates. So this one is expected to arrive in November 10th, so the order has to be made by October 27th. Let's go to the last two. 227, yeah, 227, and the order expected arrival November 24th, order deadline November 10th. Then I can go back. What do I have? 300 December 8th arrival, order deadline November 24th. Have a good time, everyone. That has been MPS, that is lot for lot, and I'll see you in the next video where we shall look at lot for lot with safety stock of 50. Cheers.